Machine a 3D bowl feature. After completing this video, you'll be able to use 3D scallop and use avoid touch surfaces. In Fusion 360, let's carry on with our 3-axis sample op2. At this point, we've used 3D adaptive to rough and semi-finish our part, and we've used our scallop operation to clean up and finish the dome feature on the left side of our part. We're going to use 3D scallop again, and this time we're going to focus our attention on this bowl feature. Now, the bowl feature could be done with multiple toolpaths as well. You could explore using spiral or radial toolpaths or even morphed spiral. But once again, we're going to default to using the scallop toolpath and see how it performs in this instance. We're going to carry on using our 1/4-inch ball, and for the geometry, once again, we are going to be using our touch surface option. We could also use a containment boundary or a selection to keep the tool in that area. We want to allow it to contact the point boundary, and then we want to move on to our passes section. In the passes section, the step over amount is 0.01, and once again, I'm going to take off the extra decimals at the very end. There is a limit number of step overs option inside of scallop. If we turn this on, we can determine how many step overs we want, but in this case, we're going to use the step over amount and say OK. Once the toolpath has been generated, I'm going to hit F7 to turn on our toolpath display, and we can see just how many passes the tool is making in order to cut this geometry. One thing that you're going to find is once you get into complex 3D geometry, the toolpath motion is going to be quite limited in its step over, and generally you're going to be running the tool a little bit faster. Now, there are problems associated with cutting geometry like this. The contact point of the tool is going to change drastically from being at the bottom to all the way up at the top where we have near vertical walls. This is going to still be an issue on the dome feature, but it is less of an issue based on how large the dome is relative to the size of this bowl feature. So in instances like this, it would make a lot of sense to cut this geometry using a multi-axis strategy where the tool is allowed to tilt and turn to maintain that contact angle. However, we don't have that as an option in this case, so we are going to focus on our 3D scallop as an option for cutting this geometry. What I suggest that you do is you focus on other toolpaths and evaluate whether or not scallop is going to be the best choice for this geometry. Take a look at your spiral and radial toolpaths and see if those can produce similar results. Once you're done doing that, make sure that you do save your design and you suppress any additional toolpaths past the scallop before moving on to the next step.